Quiet Determination. Achieve More with Less Effort. Written and published by Sonic Digest. The pace of life moves at an unrelenting speed, pushing us to chase more, do more, and achieve more. We are constantly told that success requires grand gestures, loud proclamations, and tireless hustle. Yet, in the midst of all this noise, there's a quieter force, one that doesn't shout for attention, but instead moves with a silent power that is often overlooked. It's the quiet strength that comes from a deep knowing, a focused determination that moves forward without needing to prove itself to anyone. This subtle, almost invisible force is not about rushing toward an end goal or seeking validation in every step. It's about making space for what truly matters and letting the natural rhythm of life unfold, unhurried. It's the art of embracing the process, where patience and persistence align effortlessly, guiding you through challenges with grace and ease. In a world that often seems obsessed with instant results and immediate gratification, it's easy to forget that the most meaningful progress is often the most subtle. True growth doesn't come from forcing your will onto the world, but from aligning your intentions with a deeper sense of purpose. When you understand this quiet power, your actions become deliberate, your decisions more focused, and your impact far-reaching, even when it's not immediately visible. As you journey through the principles that guide this quiet path, you'll discover that it's not about making life easier, but about making it more intentional. It's about shifting your perspective, trusting in the unseen momentum that builds with each small, consistent action. It's the knowing that, though the world may not always see your effort, your impact is real and lasting. The true measure of success lies not in the applause, but in the quiet legacy you leave behind, one that speaks volumes without ever having to raise its voice. Chapter 1. The Power of Subtle Strength. In a world that often equates success with loud declarations, constant movement, and an unyielding drive, there is a profound truth in the quiet pursuit of goals. The ability to persist without the need for external validation or overwhelming effort is a strength that is often overlooked, but is infinitely more powerful than the loudest of triumphs. This subtle strength is not about withdrawing or retreating, but embracing the quiet determination that fuels long-term success. True power often manifests not through an external show of force, but in the calmness with which we face challenges. When we are internally grounded, we begin to navigate life with a sense of clarity, free from the noise and distractions of outside pressures. The energy spent in chasing fleeting accomplishments or responding to every external expectation is draining, whereas the quiet pursuit of one's purpose allows the mind to remain focused and the spirit to stay intact. This quiet resilience doesn't imply inaction. Rather, it calls for a deep-rooted inner strength that refuses to be swayed by temporary setbacks or fleeting obstacles. It is about moving forward with an unwavering belief in the process, knowing that every step taken, no matter how small, contributes to the bigger picture. The powerful act of showing up, day after day, without fanfare or recognition, is often the most meaningful path toward genuine achievement. In a culture that celebrates instant results, it is easy to overlook the steady progress made in silence. Yet true transformation often comes not from grand gestures, but from the discipline of incremental actions. Those small, consistent steps that build upon each other, leading to breakthroughs that are not always visible at first glance. It is the quiet moments, when no one is watching, that lay the foundation for lasting success. It's essential to understand that this form of strength is not passive. Quiet determination is an active force that works steadily and persistently, often unseen by others. Those who embody it are not swayed by the frenzy of competition or the need for constant validation. Instead, they are driven by an inner purpose, one that is deeply personal and firmly rooted in their values. In this space of subtle strength, There is no need to constantly prove oneself. There is a peaceful confidence in knowing that one's actions speak louder than words ever could. It is the power of consistency, patience, and unshakable commitment to one's craft that creates the most lasting and meaningful impact, often in ways that aren't immediately visible to the world. As you embrace this quiet strength, you'll notice a shift in the way you approach your goals. Instead of rushing towards success, you begin to allow it to unfold at its own pace, trusting the process rather than chasing the outcome. You realize that the most powerful actions are often those that are done with intention, not speed. Quiet strength is the confidence to be still when the world around you is rushing and to keep moving when others falter. By focusing on internal growth, you find that success becomes more of a byproduct of your journey than a goal to be chased. This form of strength is timeless and enduring. It's not bound by the limitations of time or the fleeting nature of trends. It's the strength to stay the course, to work with purpose, and to trust that in the end, the quiet efforts will always yield the most profound results. Chapter 2. Moving with Purpose. When we align our actions with a deep sense of purpose, we unlock the potential to move forward with unparalleled clarity and effectiveness. It is a quiet power that comes not from an outward force, but from an internal compass guiding every step. The essence of purpose is not a lofty ideal or a distant goal, but a daily commitment to living in accordance with our deepest values. This alignment allows us to navigate life's challenges with effortless focus, as if each action we take is a natural extension of who we truly are. In the rush of daily life, it is easy to become distracted by the multitude of tasks and obligations that pull us in different directions. The key to staying grounded lies in knowing exactly what matters most to us. When our actions are rooted in purpose, they become more than just activities to pass the time. They transform into intentional steps that move us toward fulfillment, success, and peace. This kind of purpose is not driven by external expectations, but by an inner alignment with our personal truths, desires, and passions. The journey to purposeful action begins with clarity, understanding why we do what we do. It's about knowing not just the what, but the why. When we are clear on our reasons for pursuing something, the energy required to carry it out becomes less of a burden and more of a natural flow. This clarity provides a filter through which every decision can be made. When faced with options, the question isn't, "What do I need to do?" but, "Which choice best aligns with my purpose?" This subtle shift transforms the decision-making process from a series of mundane tasks into a journey of meaningful choices. Living with purpose is not about forcing ourselves into a mold or chasing what others have defined as success. It is about tuning in to the rhythms of our own lives, recognizing what feels right, and following that path with unwavering trust. Purpose isn't something to be achieved in the future. It is something that exists in every moment. It is present in the way we speak, in how we interact with others, and in the choices we make each day. The more we move in alignment with our purpose, the more our actions feel effortless, because they are driven by something far greater than mere willpower. This alignment also provides an extraordinary ability to focus. When our actions are tied to a clear sense of purpose, distractions fall away. The noise of the world, the pressure to conform, and the lure of quick rewards no longer hold sway. Instead, there is a quiet strength in the determination to pursue what truly matters, regardless of how others may react. This focused attention allows us to make meaningful progress with minimal exertion. For when we are truly in tune with our purpose, the path ahead becomes clearer, and the effort required feels lighter. Purpose-driven movement does not mean that obstacles won't appear. Rather, it means that we approach challenges with a different mindset. Instead of seeing difficulty as a roadblock, we view it as an opportunity for growth. When aligned with purpose, every setback becomes a stepping stone, a lesson learned, a part of the journey rather than an interruption. The energy we invest is directed toward progress, not resistance. Living with purpose also deepens our connection to others. When we are clear on our own intentions, we naturally begin to resonate with those who share similar values. This creates a sense of belonging and community, where collaboration feels effortless and mutual respect thrives. We find ourselves surrounded by people who not only support our goals, but who are walking their own purposeful paths as well. The energy of aligned individuals magnifies, creating an environment of shared growth and mutual progress. The beauty of moving with purpose lies in its simplicity. There is no need for constant striving or proving oneself to the world. Instead, we begin to move in a way that feels organic and true to our essence. We find ourselves naturally gravitating toward opportunities that align with our values. And as we continue on this path, the work becomes less about effort and more about the joy of creation. Purpose infuses our daily actions with meaning, and through this quiet determination, we begin to build the life we were always meant to live. Chapter 3: The Quiet Mind. In the pursuit of success, the clarity of the mind is often the most overlooked yet profoundly powerful asset. The world constantly demands our attention, pulling us in countless directions, leaving our minds cluttered with noise and distraction. Yet, it is in the moments of stillness and peace that we find the capacity to make the best decisions and harness our true potential. A quiet mind does not mean a lack of thought, but the ability to separate the noise from what truly matters, allowing us to focus with precision and purpose. The first step in cultivating a quiet mind is learning to quiet the external noise. This isn't just about managing distractions, but about creating an environment where deep thinking and reflection can take place. When the mind is constantly bombarded with external information, whether from technology, social pressures, or the constant rush of modern life, true clarity becomes almost impossible to achieve. The power of a quiet mind lies in its ability to sift through this chaos, distilling essential insights from the endless distractions that vie for attention. This mental clarity isn't something that happens by accident or through willpower alone. It is an intentional practice that requires discipline. The mind, much like the body, needs regular care to stay sharp and clear. It thrives on focus, but also on moments of rest, where thoughts are allowed to settle and reorganize. In the quiet spaces of our day, whether through meditation, reflection, or simple silence, we allow our minds to recalibrate. In these moments, we begin to understand what truly serves us and what simply distracts. A quiet mind enhances decision-making by giving us the space to consider each option clearly without the pressure of immediate judgment or reaction. In the midst of chaos, it's easy to make decisions based on impulse or emotion. However, when the mind is clear, decisions are guided by deeper principles and values, leading to outcomes that are more aligned with long-term goals and inner peace. Each choice, no matter how small, becomes deliberate and thoughtful, paving the way for consistent progress. In this stillness, creativity flourishes. The best ideas often emerge not from intense brainstorming sessions, but from the quiet moments when the mind is allowed to wander freely. Without the pressure to generate, create, or perform, the mind becomes a fertile ground for innovation and insight. The quiet mind is where breakthroughs happen, where new solutions emerge that are not bound by the conventional constraints of the usual noise. Productivity is naturally enhanced when we cultivate a quiet mind. This is not productivity born of frantic energy or endless tasks, but a calm, focused approach that allows us to accomplish more with less effort. When the mind is clear, we can focus deeply on one task at a time, giving it our full attention and energy. This focused approach makes each moment more efficient reducing the need for unnecessary repetition or distractions. Time no longer feels fragmented. It flows in alignment with our intentions, allowing us to accomplish more with a sense of ease. Furthermore, a quiet mind fosters emotional balance, an essential component of success. When the mind is peaceful, we are better able to navigate the ups and downs of life without becoming overwhelmed by them. Instead of reacting impulsively, we respond thoughtfully, maintaining control over our emotions. This emotional resilience allows us to stay on course even in the face of adversity, making it easier to persevere through challenges with grace and poise. The quiet mind is also deeply connected to intuition. In a world that prioritizes logic and analysis, intuition is often overlooked. However, when we quiet the mind, we open ourselves to deeper levels of understanding that transcend rational thought. Intuition is not some mystical force. It is the wisdom that emerges when we clear away the mental clutter and allow our inner voice to guide us. This intuitive wisdom leads us toward decisions that feel right, even if they don't always align with conventional thinking. In moments of inner stillness, we learn to trust ourselves more fully. We are no longer swayed by the opinions of others or the shifting tides of popular opinion. Instead, we find confidence in the clarity that comes from within. This inner trust is the foundation upon which we build resilience, creativity, and success. The quiet mind is not passive. It is a force that allows us to move through life with intention, purpose, and deep confidence. Chapter 4. The Art of Patience. Patience is often misunderstood as a passive waiting game, an idle surrender to the flow of time. However, true patience is an active force that fuels our journey toward our deepest goals. It is not about sitting back and hoping for outcomes, but understanding that the right moments will unfold when the conditions are ripe. Just as a seed needs time to grow and a river carves its path slowly through rock, so too do our goals need time and space to come to fruition. Patience is not the absence of action. Rather, it is the wisdom to know when to act and when to hold back. The art of patience is rooted in trust in the process, trust in ourselves, and trust in the natural course of events. It is an acknowledgement that we are not in control of everything, nor should we be. There is an inherent beauty in allowing things to evolve without rushing them. The more we understand that outcomes are not dictated by sheer force or urgency, the more we can relax into the journey, knowing that every step is part of a greater unfolding. When we exercise patience, we are able to distance ourselves from the noise of impatience, the fear of missing out, the pressure to keep up, the temptation to force things to happen on our own timetable. This noise creates a mental clutter that clouds our judgment and drains our energy. In contrast, true patience allows us to be present in the moment, fully engaged with the process and open to what comes next. It's a quiet strength that comes from the belief that all things happen in their time, and rushing only leads to exhaustion and frustration. In the pursuit of meaningful goals, patience teaches us the art of timing. While it may seem counterintuitive, forcing opportunities often leads to missed opportunities. When we rush toward success without allowing the space for it to develop naturally, we may overlook the subtle signs and signals that guide us in the right direction. There is a rhythm to progress, and when we align ourselves with this rhythm, success doesn't feel like a battle. It becomes a dance. Each step is purposeful, each move thoughtful, and every setback a lesson in disguise. Patience also offers us the clarity to see beyond immediate gratification. In a world that often prioritizes quick results, we can fall into the trap of expecting instant rewards for our efforts. Yet some of the most meaningful and lasting achievements require time to build, and in this waiting, we find a deeper sense of fulfillment. The most valuable creations, whether a career, a relationship, or a personal transformation, are built on layers of consistent effort over time. Patience allows us to stay the course, even when we don't see immediate evidence of progress. In moments of frustration, patience offers perspective. When we feel like we are moving too slowly or that the end is not in sight, patience reminds us that the path we are on is exactly where we need to be. It helps us shift our focus from the destination to the journey itself, recognizing that every step is part of the growth process. Often, it is in the most challenging moments that we are transformed the most. Instead of viewing obstacles as setbacks, we come to see them as essential pieces of the puzzle, necessary for our development. One of the greatest benefits of patience is its power to preserve our energy. In the rush to achieve, we often push ourselves to the brink of burnout. But when we embrace patience, we conserve our resources, knowing that sustained effort over time yields better results than frantic, short bursts of energy. This approach is not about doing less, but doing what is necessary at the right time, with the right intensity. It's a rhythm of progress that balances effort and rest, activity and reflection, action and patience. Patience allows us to cultivate resilience. When we are patient with ourselves, we give ourselves room to fail, learn, and try again. This permission to stumble without judgment fosters a mindset of growth, where each misstep is seen as an opportunity rather than a failure. The true measure of success is not found in how quickly we achieve our goals, but in how steadfastly we remain committed to them over time, learning from every experience along the way. As we practice patience, we develop a deeper understanding of the interconnectedness of all things. We realize that every moment, every person, every experience is part of a larger tapestry. By surrendering the need to control everything, we open ourselves to the beauty of life's natural rhythm, trusting that, just like nature, the right opportunities will arise when we are ready to receive them. Patience is not about waiting in vain, but about allowing ourselves to grow, evolve, and align with the flow of life as it unfolds before us. Chapter 5. The Unseen Momentum. Success is rarely born from one grand action or a sudden burst of effort. Instead, it is often the result of quiet, consistent movements that build upon one another, almost imperceptibly at first. But over time, they create an unstoppable force. This unseen momentum is the hidden engine that drives us forward, quietly propelling us toward our goals without the need for dramatic gestures or heroic efforts. The process begins in the smallest of actions, the simple decisions that we make each day, the little things that seem insignificant on their own. It could be a few minutes of focused work, a small improvement to a routine, or the commitment to show up even when motivation wanes. These tiny actions might seem trivial in the moment, but when repeated consistently, they compound into powerful momentum that can carry us through challenges and setbacks. Imagine a pebble slowly rolling down a hill. At first, it barely moves, and the energy it creates is almost imperceptible. But as it continues, it picks up speed, gaining force and power with every small motion. Over time, it becomes a force of nature, unstoppable and relentless. This is the power of consistent, small actions, actions that, in isolation, may appear insignificant, but when layered together, they create remarkable results. The beauty of unseen momentum lies in its subtlety. It doesn't demand attention or applause. It doesn't scream for validation or recognition. Instead, it grows quietly, steadily, without needing to be noticed. And often, it is only after we look back that we realize how far we've come. What starts as a few small actions evolves into something much larger, often beyond our expectations. The key to harnessing this power lies in the understanding that even the smallest efforts, repeated over time, can change the trajectory of our lives. The unseen momentum doesn't happen by accident. It is intentional. It is born from the discipline to stay committed to the process, even when progress feels slow or invisible. The most successful individuals don't always achieve their goals through bursts of brilliance, but through a series of steady, focused actions that accumulate day by day. They understand that results are not always immediate, and they don't let the lack of instant feedback deter them. Instead, they trust in the power of persistence and the compounding nature of effort. There is also a profound sense of freedom that comes with working in this manner. Without the pressure of having to achieve everything all at once or make drastic changes, we free ourselves from the stress of performance. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by the size of the task ahead, we break it down into manageable steps, trusting that each small effort will eventually add up to something meaningful. This approach removes the need for perfection and allows room for progress, no matter how small. It is often the case that when we start a new venture, we expect rapid results or immediate transformations. But when the outcomes are slow to appear, it's easy to become discouraged. Yet, unseen momentum teaches us that it's the consistent, gradual progress that is more powerful in the long run. It is not the intensity of our actions, but the consistency that matters most. Small changes, if made consistently, can create extraordinary transformations over time. In nature, we see this principle reflected in the way rivers carve through mountains. The river doesn't force its way through, nor does it rush the process. It continues to flow, dropping one droplet after another over and over again, until it creates a path that no one could have imagined. In the same way, small efforts, consistently repeated, will carve out the path to our goals. With every action, we are creating momentum that will eventually propel us to success. Small actions also have the ability to inspire and influence others in ways that we might never see. Our consistency, even in the smallest of tasks, serves as a quiet example for those around us. It can ignite a ripple effect where others start to mirror our commitment, not because of what we say, but because of what we do. Over time, this creates an environment where progress is normalized, and the collective momentum becomes even greater than the sum of its parts. The beauty of unseen momentum is that it works regardless of the circumstances. It doesn't rely on external validation, nor does it depend on the opinions of others. It is solely reliant on our own commitment to showing up every day, regardless of how small our actions may seem. The process doesn't need to be glamorous or celebrated, it simply needs to be consistent. And as long as we keep taking those small steps, we are building momentum that will eventually lead us to remarkable results. In moments of doubt, when progress seems slow or results feel out of reach, it's essential to remember that momentum is still building beneath the surface. The key is to keep moving forward, even when the path feels uncertain. The smallest step today may feel insignificant, but tomorrow it will be part of something much larger. A force that carries us toward our goals with a quiet, unstoppable power. Chapter 6. Letting Go of Strain. When we think about success, the image often conjured is one of relentless effort, sacrifice, and struggle. We envision climbing an arduous mountain, pushing ourselves beyond limits in the belief that progress can only be achieved through sheer force. This mindset, while seemingly productive, often leads to exhaustion, burnout, and a sense of frustration. The harder we push, the further we seem to be from our desired outcomes. What if the key to true progress lies not in the effort itself, but in releasing the need to control every moment and trusting the process to unfold? The essence of letting go of strain lies in realizing that progress is not always a direct result of constant, forceful action. While effort is undoubtedly important, it is not the only ingredient needed for success. At times, the more we try to force an outcome, the more we inadvertently block the very result we seek. The act of striving against the natural flow of things creates resistance, and resistance only makes the journey more difficult. True breakthroughs often happen when we stop pushing and allow the process to unfold on its own. There is a profound power in surrendering the need to control every aspect of our journey. It is the acceptance that we don't need to know exactly how every step will look, nor do we have to force things into existence. Trusting in the process requires us to believe that, when the time is right, opportunities will arise, and the path will reveal itself, without us having to strain for every inch. The most successful people often have a quiet confidence in this approach. They do not rush the process or try to force results. Instead, they move forward with faith that each step is part of a larger design. They know that sometimes the best thing they can do is allow things to happen naturally. This doesn't mean they abandon their goals or give up on their efforts. Rather, they choose to work with the flow of life instead of against it. The concept of effortless success is not about abandoning work entirely. It's about finding alignment between our actions and the greater rhythm of life. When we operate in this way, we are not pushing against the current. We are navigating with it. Effortlessness arises when we are in tune with our inner selves, when we understand that certain things will happen when the timing is right, and that striving in vain can often delay our desired outcomes. In order to experience effortless success, we must also learn to quiet our minds and step away from constant worry. Many of us are caught in a cycle of overthinking, doubting, and trying to micromanage the future. We become so focused on what might go wrong that we inadvertently hinder our ability to recognize what is going right. Letting go of strain is not only about releasing physical effort, but also about releasing mental tension. It involves allowing space for inspiration and creativity to flow, rather than constantly battling with the unknown. This principle is often seen in the natural world. Trees don't force their branches to grow. They grow in harmony with the seasons, reaching for the sunlight effortlessly. The tide does not struggle to come in or go out. It moves according to an ancient rhythm, and it flows with grace. Similarly, when we let go of the strain, we begin to align with a flow that is much larger than our individual efforts. This alignment brings a sense of ease, a natural progression that doesn't require struggle. One of the challenges we face in letting go of strain is the fear that nothing will happen if we stop pushing. We've been conditioned to believe that without constant effort, we won't achieve our goals. But in reality, when we release that pressure, we open ourselves to more creativity, more opportunities, and more clarity. There is a paradox here. The less we push, the more we create. The more we trust in the process, the more the universe seems to conspire in our favor. By letting go of strain, we free ourselves from the limitations of our own thinking. We cease to be bogged down by the idea that things must look a certain way or happen within a specific timeline. Instead, we embrace the journey with all its uncertainties, knowing that the right opportunities will present themselves when we are ready. In this way, letting go is not about abandoning our goals, but about aligning with a deeper flow that allows us to achieve them more effortlessly. The act of releasing strain also has a profound impact on our well-being. Constantly being in a state of stress, trying to push ourselves to do more, be more, and achieve more can be exhausting both mentally and physically. When we let go of this self-imposed pressure, we create space for rest, recovery, and renewal. This isn't just about physical relaxation. It's about mental clarity and emotional peace. It's about restoring balance within ourselves, which in turn enhances our ability to make decisions, to take inspired action, and to move forward with confidence. In the moments when we feel the most overwhelmed, the most driven by the need to achieve, it is precisely then that we must remind ourselves to take a step back. It is in these moments of surrender that the most profound breakthroughs can occur. By releasing the strain, we create the conditions for growth, innovation, and success to emerge with ease, all while maintaining our peace of mind. True success is not the result of continuous pushing, but of knowing when to release, trust, and allow the process to unfold. Chapter 7. Embracing Simplicity. In today's fast-paced world, complexity has become a default mode of operation. We are often taught to juggle numerous responsibilities at once, to chase multiple goals simultaneously, and to believe that more is always better. As a result, the quest for efficiency and success has become clouded by distractions and a never-ending list of to-dos. Yet, despite all the noise and chaos, there is an unspoken truth that often goes unnoticed. Simplicity holds the key to mastery, focus, and fulfillment. Simplicity is not about doing less in the sense of abandoning our ambitions or letting go of meaningful pursuits. It is about stripping away the excess, the unnecessary, and the overwhelming clutter that clouds our minds and stifles our progress. When we simplify our approach, we create space for clarity, for deeper insight, and for a more purposeful direction. It's not about cutting corners. It's about cutting through the noise to get to the heart of what truly matters. The act of simplifying our goals and tasks requires us to make intentional choices. Rather than spreading ourselves thin across a myriad of initiatives, we learn to focus on what will truly move the needle. This doesn't mean neglecting the other aspects of our lives, but rather prioritizing with intention. What is truly necessary? What aligns with our deeper purpose? What will bring the most fulfillment and impact? By asking ourselves these questions, we begin to create a pathway that is clearer, more direct, and more aligned with our values. One of the most effective ways to embrace simplicity is to eliminate distractions. The constant bombardment of emails, notifications, meetings, and social media can easily overwhelm us, leaving little room for meaningful thought or productive action. By setting boundaries and establishing clear times for focused work, we can reduce the mental clutter that prevents us from engaging fully with our tasks. This type of intentional living helps us avoid the trap of constantly reacting to external demands, allowing us to move through our day with greater ease and effectiveness. Simplicity also leads to better decision-making. When we are overwhelmed with choices, we often default to the path that seems easiest or most immediately rewarding. But by embracing simplicity, we give ourselves the opportunity to reflect deeply before acting. We remove the pressure of juggling too many options and allow ourselves the space to choose with purpose. This process doesn't just lead to better decisions. It fosters a sense of confidence, knowing that each step we take is a deliberate and meaningful one. In our work and personal lives, simplicity is often about letting go of perfectionism. The desire to do everything flawlessly can create an unnecessary burden. By acknowledging that excellence doesn't require perfection, we can free ourselves from the paralysis of overthinking and striving for an unattainable ideal. Simplicity allows us to focus on progress, on moving forward, and on learning from each step we take, rather than getting stuck in the pursuit of an elusive perfection. When we simplify, we create room for creativity. Ironically, when we pare down our commitments and streamline our actions, our minds have more capacity to think freely. Without the weight of 1,000 tasks weighing us down, we are more likely to have moments of insight and innovation. Simplicity creates mental space, and in that space, our best ideas have room to emerge. Additionally, simplifying the way we approach life allows us to experience a deeper sense of fulfillment. We often believe that success is about doing more, accumulating more, and achieving more. But the opposite is true. The more we accumulate, the more distracted we become, and the further we drift from what truly brings us joy. By embracing simplicity, we reduce the need for external validation or the constant pursuit of more. We begin to find satisfaction in the quiet moments, in the small wins, and in the depth of connection with our work, ourselves, and others. Simplicity also brings a sense of control. In a world that feels out of our hands, where things constantly shift and change, the act of simplifying our approach empowers us. It enables us to focus on the things that we can influence and to release the things that are outside our control. With fewer distractions and less pressure, we regain a sense of agency in our lives. We are no longer running after every fleeting desire. Instead, we are guided by what truly matters. In relationships, simplicity fosters deeper connections. Instead of complicating interactions with expectations or misunderstandings, we begin to engage with others on a more genuine level. When we are clear about our own intentions and goals, it becomes easier to communicate openly and honestly, creating more meaningful and impactful relationships. There's a beauty in simplicity, whether in a conversation, an act of kindness, or a shared moment of understanding. Simplicity is a radical act of courage in a world that constantly pushes us to do more, be more, and have more. It is the courage to step back and question the assumptions that dictate our choices. It is the courage to let go of what doesn't serve us and to prioritize what truly brings us peace, joy, and fulfillment. By embracing simplicity, we move through life with more intention, more focus, and more clarity, creating a ripple effect that influences every aspect of our existence. Chapter 8. The Value of Quiet Reflection. In a world constantly filled with noise, both external and internal, the practice of quiet reflection has become more important than ever. It is in these moments of stillness that true growth occurs, and it is through the act of introspection that we gain the clarity to navigate the complexities of our personal and professional lives. Quiet reflection allows us to pause, step back from the demands of the world, and reconnect with ourselves on a deeper level. It is during this time that we can evaluate our actions, understand our emotions, and uncover insights that drive meaningful change. Introspection is not simply about pondering our thoughts or evaluating past actions. It is a tool that allows us to peel back the layers of our experiences, examining them with the intent to understand, not to judge. When we reflect, we gain the ability to see things as they truly are, free from the distortions of bias, assumption, and expectation. It is through this process that we can gain perspective on our strengths, recognize areas for improvement, and identify patterns that may otherwise go unnoticed. In our personal lives, quiet reflection helps us to align our actions with our core values and beliefs. When we take the time to truly examine who we are, what we want, and why we act the way we do, we can gain a profound understanding of our motivations. This awareness enables us to make conscious choices that lead to greater fulfillment and a sense of purpose. By reflecting on our relationships, goals, and daily habits, we can adjust our course, ensuring that we are moving toward what truly matters. In the professional realm, the value of introspection cannot be overstated. The fast pace of work often leads us to operate on autopilot, reacting to demands without stopping to consider the bigger picture. Quiet reflection offers a chance to step outside of the hustle, assess our progress, and refine our strategies. It is through this reflective process that we can evaluate the effectiveness of our efforts, understand where we may have gone astray, and adjust our approach accordingly. With each pause for reflection, we sharpen our direction, ensuring that we are not merely busy, but truly productive. Reflection also opens the door to creativity and innovation. In the absence of constant distractions, our minds have the space to wander and explore new ideas. We begin to see connections that we missed before, discover solutions to challenges that once seemed insurmountable, and tap into our intuition in ways that drive growth. Quiet reflection gives our minds the freedom to think deeply, allowing insights to emerge that can propel us forward with clarity and confidence. One of the most powerful aspects of introspection is its ability to foster self-awareness. Without taking the time to reflect, we may operate under false assumptions or be unaware of our own biases. Self-awareness allows us to recognize our triggers, our patterns, and our tendencies, providing us with the power to respond rather than react. It enhances our emotional intelligence, helping us to understand not only ourselves, but also those around us. By reflecting on our interactions with others, we can improve our communication skills, build stronger relationships, and become more effective leaders. Quiet reflection is also a means of cultivating gratitude. In the hustle of daily life, it is easy to overlook the small victories and the things that we already have. Through introspection, we learn to pause and appreciate the present moment. When we reflect on our journey, we gain a deeper appreciation for how far we've come, and we can acknowledge the lessons we've learned along the way. This gratitude fuels further growth, keeping us grounded and motivated as we continue to pursue our goals. The practice of reflection also invites us to examine our beliefs and challenge the assumptions that shape our actions. Often, we carry unexamined beliefs that influence our behavior without us even realizing it. Quiet reflection offers us the opportunity to question these beliefs, to explore whether they still serve us, and to release those that no longer align with our vision. It empowers us to think critically, break free from limiting thought patterns, and create a mindset that fosters growth and success. Additionally, introspection allows us to take responsibility for our actions. Rather than blaming external circumstances or other people for our challenges, we can use reflection as a way to assess our own role in the situations we face. This takes humility and honesty, but it is an essential step in personal growth. By owning our actions, we gain the power to change our behavior, improve our responses, and create better outcomes moving forward. The key to effective reflection lies in consistency. Just as physical exercise requires regular effort to build strength, introspection requires a consistent practice to build self-awareness and insight. This practice doesn't have to take hours. Just a few moments each day to pause, reflect, and assess can lead to profound changes over time. Whether through journaling, meditation, or quiet contemplation, incorporating moments of reflection into our daily routine creates a habit that strengthens our ability to grow and evolve. In a society that values speed and constant action, quiet reflection may seem like a luxury. However, it is through these moments of stillness that we gain the clarity needed to move forward with purpose and intention. As we make space for introspection in our lives, we unlock our full potential, allowing ourselves to grow both personally and professionally. Reflection is not a passive activity. It is an active, intentional process that drives meaningful change, enhances our decision-making, and shapes the path to success. Chapter 9. Connecting to your inner power. Within each of us lies a wellspring of strength that often goes unnoticed amidst the noise of daily life. This inner power, though subtle, is a constant and unshakable force that can propel us through even the most daunting challenges. To connect with this power is not about acquiring something new or external. It is about awakening to what has always been present within. It is the quiet resolve that rises in moments of difficulty, the steady calm that remains when everything around us seems uncertain. When we tap into this inner power, we move beyond the limitations of our thoughts and fears. We begin to operate from a place of knowing that we are resilient, that we are capable, and that we can navigate any circumstance with the right mindset. This power is not about sheer force or willpower. Rather, it is a quiet yet fierce presence that guides us when we trust in it. It is an energy that flows through our body, mind, and spirit, bringing with it the strength to continue even when the way ahead seems unclear. The key to accessing this power lies in silence and stillness. When we take the time to quiet the distractions of the world, we create the space needed to listen to our inner voice. This voice is often drowned out by the constant barrage of external demands, but in the quiet moments of reflection, it speaks to us clearly. It whispers truths that we may have ignored, reminding us of our capacity to overcome, to heal, and to grow. It is through this connection that we draw strength, not from external circumstances, but from within ourselves. We often look outside ourselves for validation, for motivation, or for guidance. Yet the most profound wisdom is already embedded deep within our hearts. When we learn to listen to this inner voice, we discover a sense of purpose that transcends fleeting goals or immediate gratification. It becomes the driving force behind everything we do, a constant reminder that we are not limited by our current circumstances. The power to change, to evolve, and to persist resides within us. And it is only through reconnecting with this truth that we can truly begin to move forward with confidence and grace. In times of struggle, our natural instinct may be to resist or fight against the situation at hand. However, true strength comes not from resistance, but from surrender. Surrendering to the moment, accepting what is, and trusting that everything is unfolding as it should, allows us to navigate even the most difficult situations with ease. It is in this surrender that we reconnect with our deeper self, realizing that we do not need to force or struggle our way through life. The strength to overcome is always within us. We simply need to trust it. When we connect to our inner power, we learn to act with purpose, to move with intention. Every step we take is grounded in a deep understanding of who we are and what we stand for. We no longer chase after external validation or fleeting successes, but instead, we align our actions with our core values and beliefs. This alignment brings clarity and direction, guiding us through challenges with unwavering resolve. The decisions we make become clearer, as they are informed by a deep sense of self-awareness and inner strength. Connecting to our inner power also requires us to let go of self-doubt and fear. These emotions often cloud our ability to see our true potential, leading us to question our abilities or hesitate in the face of opportunity. However, when we silence the inner critic and embrace our innate worth, we find the courage to take risks, to step into the unknown, and to face challenges head-on. The fear that once held us back loses its grip as we recognize that we are capable of much more than we realize. Furthermore, our inner power is a force that can be nurtured and strengthened through consistent practice. Just as a muscle grows stronger through regular exercise, our connection to our inner strength deepens the more we choose to trust it. This practice involves moments of introspection, mindful action, and self-compassion. We must learn to cultivate patience, knowing that the process of connecting to our true power is not an instant achievement, but a gradual unfolding. Each day spent in alignment with our authentic self strengthens our resolve, bringing us closer to the version of ourselves that is capable of achieving anything. This power is also rooted in our connection to something greater than ourselves. Whether it is our connection to the universe, to a higher purpose, or to the energy that flows through all living things, acknowledging that we are part of something much larger can be a profound source of strength. It reminds us that we are never truly alone, and that every step we take is part of a larger journey. By aligning ourselves with this greater force, we tap into an infinite well of power that supports us in ways we may never fully understand. Ultimately, connecting to your inner power is a practice of trust. It is about trusting yourself, trusting the process, and trusting that every challenge you face is an opportunity for growth. When you let go of the need to control every outcome, you make space for the natural flow of life to guide you. This trust in your inner strength allows you to move through life with greater ease, confidence, and grace, knowing that no matter what comes your way, you have the power within to overcome it. Chapter 10. Living the Quiet Legacy. In a world that often equates loudness with success, there is an understated power in quiet determination. The greatest legacies are often shaped not by grand gestures, but by consistent, unyielding actions that speak louder than any proclamation. The most profound impact is not always immediate or obvious. It is in the steady, quiet persistence that ripples of influence are created. It is through the calm and determined pursuit of one's purpose that the foundation for lasting change is laid. The quiet legacy is not built on accolades or recognition. It is constructed from a deeper sense of fulfillment, one that comes from knowing you are doing what you were meant to do, regardless of whether the world acknowledges it. The true measure of a life well lived is not found in the noise of accomplishments, but in the impact left behind, long after the applause has faded. Those who live with quiet determination are often the ones whose influence endures. They do not chase after fame or power, yet they leave a legacy that is felt in ways that are immeasurable. It is through their consistent presence, their unshakable commitment to their values, that the world changes, one small act at a time. Living with this kind of quiet resolve does not mean avoiding ambition or avoiding achievement. Instead, it is about choosing to let the work speak for itself. Those who choose to lead with quiet determination understand that real change requires time. They understand that the most lasting contributions come from efforts that are not rushed, but nurtured over time. It is not about seeking the fastest route to success, but rather the most meaningful one. They embrace the journey, not the destination, understanding that the long road is where the true transformation occurs, not only in the world around them, but within themselves. This approach to success is rooted in inner confidence. It does not seek validation from others because it is already grounded in a strong sense of purpose. People who leave a quiet legacy are those who find meaning in the work itself, not in the recognition it might bring. They find satisfaction in the process, knowing that their consistency, even when unnoticed, will eventually leave its mark. The work is done with integrity, guided by a deep understanding that the value lies in the service to others, not in personal gain. This legacy is also one that inspires others to follow the same path. There is something deeply magnetic about the calm strength of those who persevere without needing external applause. Their example shows others that greatness doesn't have to be loud to be effective. In fact, it may be the quiet, steady influence that inspires the next generation to carry the torch, not through shouting their intentions, but through their quiet, focused actions. They become the unsung heroes whose actions are so aligned with their values that others cannot help but be moved by them. In many ways, the quiet legacy is not just about the work itself, but the way one lives. It is about the character one cultivates, the relationships one nurtures, and the way one moves through the world with grace. It is in the small, everyday choices to act with kindness, to be reliable, to show up even when no one is watching. These seemingly small moments create the foundation for something much larger. They establish a reputation that extends far beyond a single interaction, far beyond a single accomplishment. Over time, these moments accumulate into a powerful narrative that leaves a lasting imprint on the world. The quiet achiever understands that everything is interconnected. Every action, no matter how small, contributes to a greater purpose. They realize that their efforts may not always be celebrated in the moment, but the seeds they plant will eventually grow into something beautiful. These seeds are planted in the hearts of those they influence, in the communities they serve, and in the projects they nurture. Over time, these seeds bloom into a legacy that can never be erased. The true measure of quiet success is seen not just in what is accomplished, but in the ripple effect it creates. Those who lead with quiet determination build the foundation for future generations to build upon. Their lives become a testament to the power of subtlety, of quiet strength, and of consistency. Their legacy is the example they set, not for accolades, but for the way they live their values every day. In the end, it is not the loudest voices that change the world, but those who speak softly, consistently, and with purpose. They are the ones whose influence endures long after they are gone, whose quiet dedication continues to inspire and guide. Their legacy is felt in the smallest moments, the way people act, the way they think, and the way they live. Through their quiet determination, they have left behind a mark that can never be erased, a testament to the power of living with purpose and conviction. Conclusion. In the quiet moments of reflection, the true value of this journey reveals itself, not in the rush of accomplishments, but in the depth of the transformation that has occurred within. The strength that seemed so distant now lives within you, grounded in patience, clarity, and unwavering purpose. It is a power that doesn't demand attention or accolades, yet it steadily shapes the course of your life. Each small action, each moment of stillness, has led to something far greater than mere success. It has led to a life lived with intention. As you move forward, remember that the quietest path often leaves the deepest imprint. Your quiet determination has the potential to influence, to create, and to inspire in ways that are subtle yet profound. It is not about striving harder, but about aligning more deeply with the rhythm of your own essence. When you trust in your own inner power and embrace the simplicity of deliberate action, the world responds in its own quiet way. The legacy you leave will not be measured by noise or accolades, but by the calm ripple of your influence, felt long after the echo of your steps has faded. What you've built here is not just a series of actions, but a way of being, a way that leaves room for peace, purpose, and power to coexist effortlessly. The world may often look to the loudest voices, but it is the quiet ones that leave the most lasting imprint. And so, as you continue on your journey, remember that the most profound impact is often the one that is felt rather than seen, and the true measure of your success lies in the quiet strength you carry with you every day.